Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Asif Akram. I'm the Chief Operating Officer of Systems Limited. I'm here with my brother, Ahmad Al-Faifi, who is the SVP and head for SAP MENA North. And today we have a very interesting topic which we have brought to you. I want to thank the Nutshell Group, Asfar, and the whole team for bringing this conference together. I know it's a hybrid conference, and we are all excited to be part of that. Pakistan probably is in the most interesting technology era as we speak. We are scaling and growing our technology exports more than before. We have more funding in our startup ecosystems than ever before. And the excitement in the technology industry is never been like this. It'll be fair to say that we in Pakistan are expediting the digital future, which is not only impacting us, but the world as well. If we look at the world, by 2050, we are told that there'll be 9 billion people in this world. We'll have to feed them, clothe them, educate them. We are all committed to a growth-driven world economy that must supply limitless consumption to everyone. With this new tech era and the technology that is coming, could we add a digital world that helps everyone succeed and prosper while we work together? Could we become a successful world where digital greatness is normal? That's what we will talk today for the next few minutes. Our topic today is building a digital future that works for everyone. And here I want to request Ahmed to give his opening comments, and then we'll take the conversation forward. Over to you, Ahmed.
Thank you very much, Asif, for inviting me and for this intro. I think talking digital future is very, let me say, it is very broad term to talk about. There are a lot of details behind it. Some technology, which many people look at it from technology's perspective, but also there are so many other aspects to make the digital future working for a specific, let me see, country or economy. Among points that need to be addressed and look at carefully is the regulation and also the country-wide plan, which I see in many countries today when they put a vision for their future or 5 years plan, digital is among the top pillars, which is the right things to do because it is impacting people, it is impacting economy, it is impacting everything they are working or aiming for their future. So the discussion around this topic is quite interesting from one side, but from the other side, it is so broad in a way that in order to get the benefits out of it, it is important to look into other aspects than the technology itself. Because to get the technology working, you need to get regulation working for you. You need to get people skilled and prepared. So many other aspects impacting digital future to make it working in the way we want it to work.
I completely agree. Couldn't agree more than that. That's why as the population of this world grows, digital will be a core part of it, but everything else, the economies, the regulation, the politics, everything will have to work around it. So let me start by asking you a question and link it back to SAP. What are the elements that SAP is looking at building for this digital future? How is SAP planning to support this digital future? Because you run Pakistan as well from a region perspective. So that'll be very interesting to see how you're seeing it from an SAP lens.
Yes. Now, from SAP's perspective, most of technology we are talking about that are causing or impacting the digital and disrupting the normal of business model. We adopted those technology in our applications. You know, SAP is in a simple terms, in a simple definition, we are good in whatever related to resources, managing resources and making them more optimized, whether the financial resources, human capital resources, or natural resources. So that is the area of expertise SAP is in, and we help countries and economies through our applications to optimize and make benefit of what they have, and to ensure that they are able to of course, achieve what is people expect. So when it comes to digital space or digital technology evolving now, like artificial intelligence, blockchain, IoT, machine learning, all these are embedded part of our applications. And again, the way we look at it is from the outcomes. So look at it from outcomes, from economical perspective point of view. So you deploy those technologies for certain outcome or certain purpose. So this is how we look at it. So it is, let me see, human business-driven approach of using those technology or applying those technology to certain and specific economy. So we look at it broader than the technology itself. We look at it from economic and business perspective, and then those technologies are employed to help countries to achieve their objectives, because at the end of the day, technology is a mechanism, or let me see, enabler to achieve what countries and businesses are aiming for.
Completely agree. Couldn't agree more. You talked about blockchain, AI, you talked about IoT. Let's pick on AI. Everyone talks about artificial intelligence a lot. What do you think will happen if AI becomes smarter than human? Can this ever happen? And how do you see the future of AI? People are, it is something that people want to happen. Again, there are regulations, there are countries that are moving in that area, but then everybody's afraid as well that if AI can become smarter than humans, jobs, what do we do today? How do we do it? All of those things start to get affected. What is your opinion about it? And how do you see the region adapting to AI?
Yeah, AI is already smarter than us. So this is the challenge you are in. But look, AI is complementing. Let me put it this way. Now, for repetitive task, for automated type of task, AI can perform much better than human because it is data-driven. It can make decisions, simple decisions, and even sometimes very complicated decisions is also now possible. But we design it in a way that, or people design AI in a way that make it, let me see, able to do a lot of tasks that people normally do in a faster manner. So AI is faster than us in doing this. And it is like the computer. If we take the computer in early days of computer, it is doing what people are doing, but in a faster manner. But still, it is limited to a certain set of rules and algorithms that work together to make it performing the task given to them. So future of AI is really overlapping with what we are doing with many jobs. So there are so many jobs, especially for, let me see, big population. Some of those tasks can be done by AI. Cars, driving cars, simple tasks in factory, airlines, so many things can be done by AI. Software can do all these jobs. So the challenge we have here, as we are progressing with AI and expanding to new applications, also we need to move fast on upskilling people and to do something different, because AI will never replace us. This is for sure. But also it is expanding in a way that it is able to capture more and more, let me see, tasks that we are doing on a daily basis. And AI is able to do it faster and more accurate, because we are not designed for that, to be honest. We have some other skills that AI cannot replace. We can imagine, we can predict, we can be creative, and we can take decisions with certain risks that we can imagine or size that risk more than the AI. So we have skills to do. Still, AI cannot reach to that level, but of course we have to upskill. We have to upskill people and so on. And just to give it an example here, I have seen it is publicly available on the internet, the European Union plan for 2030. So part of what the regulator in Europe agreed to and presented to leaders of Europe Union is this area. What is the area between AI and human? And one of the major initiatives is upskilling. So skilling people and changing the education in order to do something that AI cannot do, so that we add value to what we are doing. So this is it. So definitely there are area of overlap, and that overlap can be eliminated by upskilling and helping people and education system to provide certain skills that we need to do that AI cannot. But definitely the repetitive task, automated type of task, AI can expand and cover those tasks, which is in a way impacting many jobs. Let us face it. So many low jobs and low wage jobs, they will be replaced. But then we need and more, human, type ethical things that AI cannot look at or consider. So this is a broad, big question to answer, but definitely there are a lot of work to be done in that area.
Yeah, I think I could not agree more with you. I don't think AI is going to replace everything that humans do. We have certain skills and qualities that we have to use. But I think you absolutely said there'll be some jobs that are going to get replaced. We all have to aware of it. And I think AI will become a huge part of making this digital future work for everyone. And I think without AI, that is not going to be possible. So I 100% agree with you. I think this debate of what will happen with AI and how will it change the world? As you said, it's already here. It's already changing the world. So in summary, I completely agree with you that humans will still have work to do. Humans will continue to do, but AI becomes a huge part of the digital world that is going to work for everyone. Now, we all know that we've been in the last 18 months in a very tough situation. Every crisis in the world that has happened has winners and losers both. And in this case, pandemic has humanity as a loser, but technology and digital industry as a big winner. And a lot of leapfrog of AI, IoT, blockchain, a lot of work from home has happened. In your opinion, how has the pandemic impacted the digital future? And do you think the digital future will now be more sensitive and will be available for everyone than before something like this pandemic hit? Just Pakistan, we see our adoption of digital increasing. E-commerce has gone up the roof, and 2-3 times growth in e-commerce, and technology has grown. So I just wanted your opinion, and then what's happening in the region with digital around the pandemic.
Yes, very good question and very relevant. So in fact, you're right. It was a winner, and this what happened. The digital was the winner here because, first of all, many companies and businesses and government realized that the importance of technology in a situation like this. So it convinced whoever used to be not convinced that we need this kind of fast move to technology-enabled environment. And we have seen also, that we mentioned earlier, the regulation. So as I give you example of Europe Union, but also back another example, Europe Union leaders requested commissions to expedite the plan for 2030. And they requested them to present it. And that was Q1 this year, because they have realized that they need to move faster on digital and help all countries in Europe Union to be able to have the same strategy that cover the data part, cover the application part, cover the cybersecurity part in a way that enable everybody to move fast. So I think if there is no outcomes of pandemic, of course, pandemic is not something we like or countries like, but if there is some side impact of it, which is positive in this scenario, it is this convincing governments to set the regulation and help to move fast on this direction. On the business side, we have seen companies before and after. So we have seen companies that are digitally enabled and able to do their business in a digital friendly environment, able to pass the pandemic in a better shape than others who've been completely on old version or paperwork or something like this. Because we have seen this. Look to the companies, if we take the retail, because it's very obvious to everybody, company that they have their own online retail, that they move, digitize to online, continue their business during pandemic. And those companies that were based on let me see, outlet and shops and so on, they've been completely out of business. So, and you can see some people in the middle. So definitely digital is big winner. It is like a big worldwide example of how companies need to digitize their processes, the way they interact with their customers, the way they interact with their suppliers, and the way they work with their own people, because most of companies, their people work remotely. So you are absolutely right. It wasn't something planned for, but it's definitely something that everybody now is aware that the countries, companies need to be more enabled digitally in a scenario like this in future.
Completely agree. I just want to take this discussion a little bit forward, because our topic today is how do we make this future inclusive for everyone. One of the big threats that we have seen is cybersecurity. You briefly spoke about it just now. You know, all the events that have happened in the last 1 year, as we digitize more, the cybersecurity starts to become a huge challenge. So I just wanted your views about this, and how do you think this region is tackling it, and how do you think? I think it's a very important, like AI, it's also a very important pillar for the future of for the digital world. Just wanted your views on that also, Ahmed, before I move to another topic.
Okay, so if you allow me, before cybersecurity, let me take the regulation in general as an aspect, because I know countries, they always, and country leaders and country regulation bodies, they of course would like to ensure full security and full, adoption to their local laws. And if you think to go to any particular country and say, look, we would like you to change your rules, we want you to do something different. Of course, this is a very tough battle, very difficult to get this done. However, with digital expanding, changing the whole way of people trading and doing business, I think countries need to revisit some old type of regulations and so on, including what's related to cybersecurity. And to give you a practical example that people will understand, look to the taxation system today. Taxation system is based on physical presence of any particular country. So if you are physically in Pakistan, then you need to go through taxation system. But what if majority of business is done remotely, done through online? A taxation organization is losing in this scenario, because the people are trading, but not trading through them. They are trading through other environment. So it is not always asking the government and regulator to adopt and change the rules to help this technology to work, but also it is good for them. They need to be able to apply the right taxation system and so on. So there is a mandate or requirement in all countries to revisit what they used to do, because digital is disrupting everything. It is disrupting everything. And again, it is not a technology challenge. It is beyond technology. Now, when it comes to cybersecurity, I see it as part of this, because also if we take the regulation part of cybersecurity, every country would like to host the cloud in that particular country, because to ensure everything is done within the countries, data is not leaving the countries, which is absolutely understood. But from other side, there are global networks of trading and business that you cannot host it anywhere. It is like a neutral, global. So the countries need to rethink in a creative manner how to allow those technologies to work while maintaining the law and regulation and data ownership of that particular geography. And then cybersecurity will come, because you want to bring the cybersecurity to protect the regulation you put together. So it is not about hackers and so on. This is another topic this is illegal things. You are trying to protect your business, but also within a legal business, you want to provide a flexible environment and then design the regulation around that, make it working from legal perspective, and then technology-wise, cybersecurity-wise, to ensure this is implemented. So it is multi-layer challenge, starting from regulation, starting from flexibility and allowing business to work. Otherwise, you will be isolated as a country. Country will be isolated. It's like a country with no ports, no seaports, no airport, nothing. It is it. Once you are able to adapt your country to the global trade, global digitization, then in that scenario, you need a new ports, new type of ports, digital ports, where you are able, you know what you are allowed to go out, what is allowed to come in, and cybersecurity will come to protect those regulations and those laws. So it is, again, a big challenge. And I like, again, to bring for the third time the example of EU. They look into this, and they are really looking at it in a way that allow the business. They set the priorities. And priorities is one, skills. Number two, business, how to allow business to work. And because it's economy, and then governments, how to involve government in all this discussion, regulatory bodies and government benefit from all of this. And then if you are able to get all of these together, of course, cybersecurity and other is just to make this work. But if priority is not cybersecurity is something to protect the regulation, protect what you have agreed to for your country, while keeping the business working. So the challenge going forward for government to upskills and to also to understand the size of challenge.
Yeah, I agree. I think you've said it right, that it's not, from the beginning of this discussion, we're saying it's not the technology that has to be the focus only. It has to be things that matter, which is the business, which is the humans, which is the regulations, and then make sure this digital future works for everybody while the technology is driving it. That's how cybersecurity also working. So I completely agree with you. So I want to move to humanity a little bit here, because all these things we're doing is for people and for ease and for, faster business and doing it from home, work from anywhere, order everything, run things faster. But what also is that this digital future, we know, will create divides. We will have the have-nots and haves kind of discussion, that people who can easily afford it, people who can't afford it. And the risk is that this will make them, one of the sides of the risk is this will make the mankind go apart from each other rather than unite, because haves will have more and have-nots will have less. We see this with the pandemic as well, correct? The gap of have and have-nots is increasing. So how do you see that countries should, what are the steps you see that the countries should be doing to ensure that this digital future is available for everyone and we don't create this huge divides? That is a risk we are in currently.
Yeah. Also, this is a difficult question to answer, predicting the future on this aspect. But let me give you some figures, and then we can take it from there. So today we have around global population, 7.9. And the internet is around 4.6. Internet connectivity is 4.6. So let us say we have 3 billion not connected yet, and the rest are connected to internet, mostly from mobile. People use their mobile to reach to internet. On the other side, we have around 35 billion devices connected to internet today, 2021, expected to be 75 by 2025. So doubled in 2 years or even more. So if we take the average, today, you have 5 devices for every individual, or less. Maybe if you have 4.6 connected, then 35, you're close to 9. So 9 devices and 1 individual. And as we progress, as we move, we'll have more devices connected to internet. And those devices are not necessarily talking to each other. Some of it is talking to each other, sensors and so on, but some of them are connected with us. connected with people. We need to interact with those devices to manage businesses, to manage your daily life, to your car, your TV, or whatever connected to internet. So definitely this is not going to be at zero time cost. It is consuming time. And you will find as we move forward, our life is all connected with devices, and then the time available for us to interact with each other, either for business or life, is less and more challenging here. So definitely we are getting more people, or not more people, more things connected in the same environment we are in. So this is putting more pressure on this. On the other side, technology is technology. So I think that the other aspect here is that we use it the way we like to use it. I mean, we still have opportunity to also use it to contribute to humanity, to our connectivity. Social media today is connecting people. You talk to your friends or colleagues in school, for example, that there is no other way to connect with them. You have friends in all over the world today connected through these technologies. So there are two sides of it, but I believe that the values and ethical part of that we learn in school and from family becomes more and more important to go to the middle of this, mess. So many connected, everything is connected. So we as a human, we have a unique things that will play in our side to keep connected with family, with the friends, and so on. On the business side, I think we will be more connected with machines and devices and so on. So there is no other way, because this is what will optimize the resources I mentioned earlier. And sometimes we need to deal with the machines, and it is happening today. How much time you spend with your phone, with your laptop, and so on. That will continue. What we need to protect is the family part, is the social part. That need to be protected, and I think it will be if we deploy the technology in the right way.
Agreed. I think the key you said is if we deploy the technology the right way, we deploy it to create this, to close this gap, not to create more divides. We deploy it in a way that the family time is protected. We deploy it in a way that that countries who can't afford it can get some of the connectivity, like the mobile phone has been able to do, to close this gap, which has a big, huge risk of getting created. That's the whole thing that we are talking about today, is how do we make sure that this digital future is for everyone and not for few people or few businesses or few technologies. It's available for everyone. Ahmad, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I think in conclusion, we talked about the various elements of the digital future. You were very clear in saying it's not just the technology, it's the regulation, it's the business, it's how the human interaction happens. We talked about the AI part of it, the risk that AI can take over jobs. It already is, but humans will always have jobs. They just have to keep retraining themselves. We talked about the pandemic and what great leaps that the digital has happened. We talked about cybersecurity importance, and then we talked about humanity in general. I think we are all on path to create the digital future for everyone. Any concluding remarks from yourself before we sign off, Ahmed?
No, thank you very much. It is a very good discussion. And as I said earlier, very wide topic. There are so many things to discuss under this. But one closing point here from a little bit in the technology side, I strongly believe that the countries need to invest heavily in the infrastructure more than any time before to enable their people to use and embrace those technology. Otherwise, countries will be isolated. So 5G is coming. It is already a reality, and infrastructure becomes very important asset, like for any country, like roads, like airports, like ports. It is not less. So if any country is still reluctant to put more money there or to prioritize, I think they will find themselves a little bit behind in the future. Because digital future is not about one business or country, it is everything. all countries or businesses are moving in the same direction, countries able to take steps forward in the regulation, in the infrastructure, and also upskilling people, they will get the benefit of these technologies.
Completely agree. I think this will again reduce that isolation that the countries have risk in. Ahmed, it's been really a pleasure. Very wide topic, but I think we touched upon very key areas. I really appreciate your time, and we are looking forward to see you in Pakistan post the pandemics and these travel restrictions going away. Thank you.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much, Asif. And the soonest possible, definitely, it is a pleasure to be there again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.